What's good, y'all? What's good, family?
What up? I feel like garbage. Damn, you good over there? You good over there, bro? Damn, you straight? You straight over there? What's good, man? How's everybody doing? Yup. Oh, man, we got another episode today, man. Weekend's almost here. It's here, baby. It's here. Let me know how. All right. All right, man. Welcome to another episode of the Jayson Estrera podcast, where we talk about basketball as accurate as possible. Now, today, we got a lot on the docket today, man. We got a lot on the docket today. I went down a rabbit hole when it comes to the Oklahoma City Thunder, so I'll share that with y'all in just 1 second. That was a big game between two of the best young stars that we have in the league, in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Anthony Edwards. So that was a big game with playoff implications. I'll add, I think, that made that matchup really exciting. We had a big loss out of the Detroit Pistons against the Phoenix Suns. So we're going to get into that matchup as well. Rookie of the Year was on display between the Dallas Mavericks and the Charlotte Hornets. So we're going to take a look at that game also. Tyrese Maxey keeps adding to his MVP resume for this season. Now, will he get it or will he not is a whole nother conversation, but I think he's been playing unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. And we'll take a look at that game against the Sacramento Kings. Now, before I continue, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you have not done so already. We really appreciate that, man. But thank you guys as always. We got a lot to talk about today, man. I'm easily the poorest NBA fan right now. Head hurt, throat tight, head hot, and I split my spaghetti. Wait, what is this guy on about, bro? You need a warm beverage, my boy. You need a warm beverage, my boy. Oh, man, we got a lot to talk about. So let's get into it. Before we start with that, before we get into all those topics, here, let me pull up the, it was a Shams report. So let's pull this up first and foremost. All right, Shams. So Shams reported earlier today that Denver's Nikola Jokic, who's been out since December 9 with a knee injury, plans to return tonight against the Los Angeles Clippers at home. Sources tell ESPN. Jokic is in position to also play in Sunday's showdown versus the Oklahoma City in Denver and be eligible for the season awards. Which has been a really, really big topic. Are you going to get what players are gonna miss out on these awards? Jokic being a big one. Not only is it all NBA, but that's the MVP. It's a lot of things that could really get thrown off if Jokic is ineligible for these awards, and I'm sure, because of this scenario, there's going to be a conversation over the summer about it. I don't think they can keep continuing on like this. No one wants players to sit out or load management, but when there's a scenario like this that is so obvious, I mean, I was looking back at it, man. Michael Jordan came back in, what was that, 1994, 1995, I believe, right? At the end of that season and played like 15 games and was 10th in MVP voting. I mean, we've seen it go the other way before, right? Where not to say that he didn't play well in that stretch, but MVP votes in 15 games is a lot. And that's coming from a Jordan fan. Let alone someone who's put in the time and now has to rush back from an injury because of these awards. Sort of like Halliburton. I think he had a hamstring injury that he kept dealing with. Came back, ended up re-hurting it. So fingers crossed. Hopefully that's not what happens with Nikola Jokic. But they're saying he's set to play tonight. That game is 9 p.m. Eastern. So game definitely to look out for. Another thing that was reported is Jackson Hayes out of the Lakers and Carter Bryant out of the San Antonio Spurs have both accepted invitations for the 2026 NBA Slam Dunk Contest in LA. So I'll be honest with you, man. The All-Star weekend is just it doesn't sound great. I'm just gonna like point blank period. Listen, Sunday, because we get to see all of the players, right? I think that's something we'll get together and watch that. But in terms of Saturday night, that seems like a whole dub. So yeah, that sounds awful. That sounds absolutely awful to have. Not to say that Jackson Hayes, we just saw him with the between the leg dunk. Carter Bryant is also athletic, but I mean we need to start putting like I get that Hayes may go crazy. I get that, but I think we had great dunk contests from players that weren't necessarily all-stars, right? Like Jason Richardson, Desmond Mason, and some of these other guys like that, right? Tracy McGrady wasn't the Orlando Magic Tracy McGrady when he went on with Vince Carter. But how crazy of a dunker you are, like you gotta be really good to be able to get in on that, in my opinion. Like, because what ends up happening, Elijah, is you're out there by yourself, right? Like that's, you know, in any other situations in the NBA and basketball, you got your team with you. You might be taking the shot, but you have your teammates with you, right? In a dunk contest, that's one of the very few scenarios in the NBA where you are by yourself. And I think what we've seen is these guys that aren't stars, that don't have that responsibility, even if they are very good dunkers, that spotlight gets bright. And I think some of them can't handle it. That's why we see the missed dunks. We see them eating up the clock because they're constantly missing. So I think it does kind of matter, right? Not to say that everyone has to be a superstar, right? But I do think like VJ Edgecombe should have been in this. I don't know what they needed to do to get VJ Edgecombe in this, but VJ Edgecombe should be in this. And he's a great example of an up-and-coming star that's a super athletic player that also we see in games, right? Because the reality of this All-Star weekend, which I don't know how the NBA thinks about this, but let me speak y'all language for a second. This is a big marketing ploy. Yes, we're celebrating the stars and whatnot, but the idea of All-Star Weekend is we are showcasing the best of the best this is the best that we have to offer in this league. If you're someone that doesn't typically watch basketball or the NBA, check this out. You're going to see the best shooters, the best dunkers, the best players, the best ball handlers, pause if necessary, but the best everything. And so to put guys out there that after we see them do something really cool, we're never going to see them on highlights because they don't get burned on the floor. That's not promoting the game. Like, they're really dropping the ball in that sense with these no-name guys. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. It's raised expectation too. I do wish we get bigger names, so I get it. Who would have been your ideal lineup for this year? For sure, VJ Edgecombe. VJ Edgecombe for sure. I'm trying to think of Amen Thompson for sure. Amen Thompson. You start with those two off rip. Give me Amen Thompson and give me VJ Edgecombe. Who would we go with after that? I'm trying to think. See, I feel like that's a good start, right? If you have at least 2-3 players out of the, I'm assuming it's 4, right? Because they haven't had enough, players to get 6 people out there. Yeah, but that's a really good start in my opinion. Amen Thompson, VJ Edgecombe. Get it done. We start with y'all two. We start with those two. Honestly, I wish Anthony Edwards would do it. Even though, yeah, I mean Anthony Edwards would be honestly probably on the short list of people who I would want to see in the dunk contest. To give it a try. Has who done it ever? But I doubt Anthony Edwards. See, like if Anthony Edwards were gonna do it, he should have done it 2 years ago, type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I totally get once you're in year 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, like you, unless you're defending your slam dunk championship, like I totally get it. Like nobody said you gotta keep doing the dunk contest every year like it's a 3-point shooting contest, but I feel like in the first 3 years, if that's the best time to go, if you're doing the dunk contest, because that's when you're younger. That bounce crazy. You haven't dealt with the NBA seasons yet, so it might be a little bit, unfortunately, later for Anthony Edwards. But I would start with VJ Edgecombe and Amen Thompson. Anthony Edwards would have been really nice to see in there. Zion is too late. I think even John Moran is too late. Missed the boat on those two. Those would have been really exciting as well. But yeah, man, we still got some hoopers out there. We still got some people with bounce right there. 1 year we need Ant, Ja, Zion, Shaedon Sharp. I don't know who else. Maybe time. Yeah, but see, like it's too late now. Like you gotta think now. This is why you gotta do it in the first like 2 years, 3 years max. I feel like, because now Ja's had a bunch of shoulder injuries, leg injuries. Like Zion, the same thing, bunch of injuries. Like it's just, it makes it really tough, man. It makes it really, really tough. But yeah, let's see how this turns out with the All-Star weekend that's coming right up in a little bit. So let's move right along. With a really exciting game last night. See, like this year, it's funny, somebody tells you the Dallas Mavericks and the Charlotte Hornets are playing, you be like, yeah, we could cut that off. But you got the two rookie of the year candidates, former roommates, right? I believe they were roommates, Duke teammates, Knueppel and Cooper Flagg were in a battle last night. You know, they were in a dogfight last night, and Cooper Flagg is adding on to this rookie resume. I told y'all he was good, man. He dropped a 49 piece. Only 6 free throws, right? We can't blame it on the free throws. He had 49, 10 rebounds to go with 3 assists and a block. Excuse me. Only 2 turnovers. Only 2 turnovers. He shot 69% from the field, 20 of 29, 3 of 5 from 3, including a really big one down the stretch. And Knueppel, I still don't know how to say his fucking name. He had 34, shot 62.5%, 10 of 16 from the field, 8 of 12 from 3, 6 of 6 from the line. I mean, just talk about a game. Excuse Clay Oldstyle. Dude, 3-point, day 2 fired to get off hook. What does that mean? I need that. What you saying, dog? Yeah, I'm gonna need you to lock in, bro. I'm gonna need you to lock in. So this was a nutty game. this was an absolutely crazy game, and you know, I want to give a lot of credit to is it Knueppel? We just gonna call him Khan. We gonna give a lot of credit to Khan. I think there's a lot of times where players get in the league and they start doing too much, right? Especially after having some success. There's players that start doing a little too much. And I got to give Khan a lot of credit, because talk about someone whose game is consistent. I mean, he is going to make money and find himself on different teams, because the ability to shoot is a real premium in the NBA right now. And for someone that's shoots a good percentage, he's a knockdown, he moves well without the basketball. I mean, this guy has a really, really bright future ahead of him. And honestly, for him to go toe to toe with Cooper Flagg, we talk about, mentalities over here a lot. I don't think that's an accident, right? It's nice to think that that's an accident, but that's not an accident. Let's take a look at this, man. These are 2 crazy threes.
It's the deck, getting back into the play, and it's a 2-point contest. Knueppel
well, this next one is crazy.
3. Maybe taking the players a little bit of time to get into things. It took about like 1 minute.
Yep.
That was
everybody was in the hallway.
Jesus.
And he's in the groove tonight, man.
I mean, he was just flowing. He was just absolutely flowing. And so again, I want to give him a lot of credit for. Oh, this was the shot. Let's take a look at this.
Now screened by Diabate to.
I mean, that's just tough. Like, what do you do in this situation? He's pushed up already, right? Look, it's not like Gafford is below the free throw line. I mean, he's in a position to contest. Cooper Flagg does a good job of trailing, right? If you're Flagg, you're gonna need a better angle on this, right? And this is something he'll learn as he's playing in the NBA. He recognizes it. You have to really get low and really thin yourself out to try to get around these picks. And he does a good job here. But that's just a tough shot. That's just a tough shot. He don't even see Gafford.
A screen by Diabate to open it.
So a lot of credit to Khan, man. To Khan. He's that guy's nice. That boy nice, but this guy in Dallas, man. And we've spoke about, we've talked about Cooper Flagg before. And what I said about him is he wants to get to the rim, right? He wants to get to the rim. And at 6'9", with his skill and with how much force he plays the game with, he's going to force a lot of defenses to pay attention to him. As long as he's consistent with trying to get into the paint, that's where he and his team are going to have success. It doesn't matter how good his jump shot is at. It has to supplement that aspect. And for someone to play like this,
8-0 Dallas run just comes to an end as Brandon Miller.
I mean, it's just a split-second decision right here.
With a 4-point play. Here comes Cooper and down it.
And so, right, he's playing him tight instead of going over, right? Goes under to get the ball. And he understands that he's getting played tight right now, right? So one thing you could do, which is what he does right here in this situation, is to just get the ball and go, right? Try to predict what they're expecting, and he knows that they've been there. They're probably trying to run a pick and roll in this situation.
Comes to an end as Brandon.
He's clearing this out. And instead of allowing the defense to get set, he's lifted already. LaMelo's clearing. Coop can see this whole lane opening up and just goes.
4-point play. Here comes Cooper and down it goes.
I mean, yo, this kid is nice, man. This kid is nice. I think he's shown an ability to really understand the game quickly, right? I mean, right here, he makes this. I mean, this is a coast-to-coast play, right? We talk about his versatility and what he could do on defense and offense.
And detonating.
Right? Little slip screen. Sexton's trying to get downhill. Right? Coop sees this. And what does he do, right? Which a lot of players will do. You'll see a lot of players go on the opposite side of the nail, right? And effectively give Collin Sexton that little bit of room to be able to get a better shot off. But he sees what's going on, and he's already preparing to help out. Good contest. He always puts two hands up when he's contesting, just to be big.
Collin Sexton. Salon with a putback.
Gets the rebound.
And get ready for something else pretty special. On the attack, bump, scores, and to the line.
I mean, this kid, he is everything to this team. It's kind of crazy how everything is worked out. Because this kid is really fucking good. This kid is really fucking good. And I think the big thing is when you look at the fourth quarter, right? There's growing pains. And I think we saw it in college when he had that big turnover like the first game that he had and whatnot. And I think he's someone that, like I said, learns very quickly and will learn from a lot of these mistakes. But he's also shown an ability to be successful in these spots. So let's take a look at this also.
40 points and still 9 minutes to play. Creeping over.
I mean, they just flat out like he has any, he could go anywhere.
Ready to attack, now pulls up, and yes, sir! Well, soft touch, he's tied in a size disadvantage situation, and he put the bit between his teeth and was great. And here comes Cooper.
And he missed that, right? But as a and you know, they'll tell you this when you have a smaller player on you, right? He does a good job of staying tall and using that pivot, not using his dribble to get around, right? Colin Sexton is being overzealous, rips through well, attacks that top foot. He just misses the layup, right? He just misses the layup right there.
Incredible. Now here's Coop, and he's going to drive on Brandon Miller, gliding to the basket, and there's a new Maverick rookie record for points.
I think also the willingness to go to the offhand in big situations is telling.
Into the front court, all the way to the basket. Yes, goaltend has got to be.
He gets a goaltend right there.
For being a good.
And then this is the big one.
All right, ball into Cooper with 46 points. A three would tie it. That's what he takes.
I mean, just a big time shot, but then we compound that with this right here. And for someone who's had such a big night, right? 13.7 seconds left in the game, 11 seconds left on the shot clock. And I get that hindsight and movement and all that stuff is it's hard to do it in the moment. Let's let this play out and then we'll bring it down.
If he scores or if anyone scores, the Mavericks take the lead. 8 to shoot, 10 to play. Deflection, look out. Sion James has saved it in. It's caught against Cooper.
But then he gets the foul. So let's see what he could have done differently right here, right?
And if he scores,
pulls it back with 10 seconds left, right?
Or if anyone scores, the Mavericks take the lead.
This is a great delayed blitz in this situation to force the ball out of his hand. Max Christie is probably the shooter that you would want in this situation, if we're being honest. And he also gets his hand on the basketball. But realistically, if you're here already, and I know there's time on the clock, I would rather he make that behind the back dribble expecting to get a shot instead of expecting to have an outlet or to get back out on the perimeter and reset this offense. Even if you were to hit a shot and you leave 10 seconds on the clock or whatever it is, have some faith in your defense and you know, to be able to get a stop in that situation. I get you're trying to eat up as much of the clock as possible, but I definitely think he could have looked for a shot right there. I know it's hard. And honestly, I would have much rather them ISO him at the top, you know, middle of the floor like they did last time, where no one can come help, right? Anywhere that anyone comes to help, you put them in a really tough spot. Let me try to pull that up one more time. Right? I would rather this. If you're going to ISO him on his side, make it in a spot where no one can help, because it would really hurt that team, right? You know, he was all the way over here. He pulled it back up. They should have just all rotated over so he could take up this space and try to have the middle of the floor. Pass over here, can't double pass over here. Just anything would have been really tough. But, you know, I think, again, that's growing pain. That's something that he and the team's got to learn. But 49. I mean, 49 as a rookie is crazy. 49 as a rookie is crazy. Now, you know, from one young gun to another. We've talked about Tyrese Maxey a lot. I think this guy is really good. Like, outside of the numbers, outside of the fact that he's averaging 30 a game, outside of everything else, right? You could tell he's confident. You could tell the way he carries himself on the court, the way that he walks around, like, he's confident, but he's also loose, right? I think it allows him to play free and relaxed. And when you add the fact that he is so fast, he is a blur out there. He damn near doesn't need a move ever. You know, again, someone that is fearless when it comes to attacking the basket, right? Maxey is one of the players that draws a lot of gravity, right? There is a lot of eyeballs when Tyrese Maxey has the basketball. And he does a lot of little things that I think are just so smart, right? So on his way to, what did he have in this game? He had 40. He had 40 on 66.7% shooting from the field, 44.4% from three. He was 12 of 13 from the free throw line with 8 assists, 4 rebounds, a steal. Joel Embiid also had 37 in this game, 37, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. I mean, just a great duo. DeMar had 25, Schroeder had 27, but bro, what does this guy say? You prefer your mother's lasagna or your mother's meatloaf? What? My mom don't make meatloaf. Yeah, my mom don't make meatloaf. But
My Sacramento.
Listen, man, I gotta show this because I thought this was really cool for any hooper out there that's, you know, trying to learn the game, trying to figure the game out. You get all these trainers, you get all of these media outlets that talk about having a bag, everything is a move, everything is this, that, and the third. It's this simple sometimes, right?
So in this
I'm gonna let this play
fourth
out.
quarter,
Dennis Schroeder is looking at whatever the fuck is going on with his shorts. Tyrese Maxey notices that and just goes.
Maxey.
You could call that foul merchant. You could call that whatever you want.
7th turnover.
I call that smart. Right?
By
You don't have to do all the try to pull him back. You know, if I get him with a snatch back and he come his top foot, I can hit his top foot and go right. Like sometimes you don't got to do all that shit. Simple is better, and that's what Tyrese Maxey's
Sacramento
game
in
is.
this fourth quarter.
Look, that's your dumbass.
Maxey.
Maxey looking at him like, got your dumbass. Oh my God. Now, I did want to pull this up as well too, because it's funny to me to see this. I think it's funny to see this. Where is it? No. All right, we're gonna talk about he attacks closeouts great. He does. For being so fast, he uses advantage as well. He does. He a smart player, a very smart player, right? Let's take a look at this. they flatten out their 3 players. They got 2 corners. PG's at the dunker, and they have a high pick and roll, right? So Maxey has a lot of options in this situation, depending on how they want to play this, right?
On you to
Fourth quarter in the close game, they are blitzing his ass. They are blitzing Tyrese Maxey.
that time.
And what I love about Maxey is he could have passed this.
That time shooter.
I just love the fact that he gives it that little extra second.
Letting it fly from 3.
Quieting the
First of all, that's crazy. That looks crazy.
that 3.
That looks crazy. Stay on your feet.
B, the fake, the double, the land.
Stay on your feet. But it all happened because of Tyrese Maxey, right? Like, Joel Embiid is obviously a shell of himself. And even with Joel Embiid there, if you're Sabonis, you can't just go and fill this to help out, because Tyrese Maxey will turn this corner and get around fucking everybody and get a layup. So you have to stay here,
Letting it fly
right? And
from 3.
rotation, Sabonis then has to rotate over.
And B, the fake, the double.
And it's an easy bucket. It's an easy bucket. Again, Tyrese Maxey's ability to impact the game, it's insane. It really is insane how he's able to impact the game. He draws a lot of attention on defense, and again, he just keeps the game simple, right? He's gonna get to the basket. You know the shots that he takes. He's got a floater. He gets to the rim. I mean, this guy does everything. And if you're Philadelphia, you guys have an MVP caliber guard. I'm just going to call it what it is, right? An MVP caliber guard. I mean, you could call this glazing. But this guy is going to be the motherfucking point guard for... This guy is going to be the point guard for motherfucking Team USA, bro. This guy is insane. Like, this guy is actually insane. And I think he's only going to get better. Like, the amount of times... Like, he misses this. And granted, Zach LaVine is not the world's greatest defensive player ever, but you have to play for this. And look at how quick he did that. You can't even pause fast enough.
Maxey, sidestep triple.
And, you know, he missed that shot bad. But just to show you how people react to him. And see what? But we got to get to these last couple buckets, because again, this guy, he needs to be the point of attack for this
like
Philadelphia 76ers team.
Their record,
They making sure he don't get downhill right here. It don't matter, bro. People told me shut up when I say he should have been on the roster this summer. I think by last summer, I think he was good. Personally, I would have put Jalen Brunson over him, but he's unbelievable right now.
Teams like this, unfortunately, because of their record,
Look, they're setting up for his drive.
they won't be surprised.
And it still don't matter.
They're losing. They almost expect it, but you got to
Still don't matter. Like, all right, cool. What we gonna do? So, if he drop, Joel Embiid gets a good shot, because if you drop and he's gonna start, what he's gonna do is he's gonna eat up this space still, and make sure Joel Embiid gets a wide open shot instead of having a contested shot. If you stay up, he's gonna go right around this guy, and you know Zach LaVine steps up to try to contest, and he switches hands.
Maxey with a tough 2 there.
Like, what we
Chance to
doing?
take the lead here.
Again, high pick and roll.
2 minutes.
Maxey passed
Don't
everybody.
matter.
Chance to take the lead. Another chance to take the lead here.
All right, high pick and roll situation again with Joel Embiid. Blitzing it, right? Blitzing it. But what do we see that's going on differently in this situation, right? Sabonis is picking up Joel Embiid in this situation, right? And so instead of giving the basketball up, because in the last scenario, we saw Sabonis stay put, right? In the last scenario, where is this? The Joel Embiid one. I think it was this one. Right, on this play,
To produce that time shoot.
he don't even give a flying fuck about these two. He's reading Sabonis. Sabonis is staying put. He's not going over to rotate to help to make sure that DeMar can get to the three-point shooter. In this scenario, Sabonis is all the way over. So what does Tyrese Maxey do? He just attacks this double team.
2 minutes.
Maxey passed everybody. The Sixers retake the lead.
No move. Not a single move in sight. That motherfucker. Not a single move in sight. I actually think here, let me see. I actually think it's better to pull up the end of this. Let's play it out from right here. They flattened it out for DeMar, who's, a very good mid-range scorer.
Shot.
Flatten it out. Has some traffic over here, so he goes left.
It's the screen from Levine. DeRozan rises. Can't connect. Embiid the rebound. And Nick Nurse and the Sixers call.
Or you get the ball from the officials. You look and you see where everyone is where they are supposed to be before you get the ball from the officials. Don't accept it unless you like what you see.
Edge come to inbounds.
Got to come to it.
Paul George comes to it, knocked out by Achua.
Things all over the floor, not letting anyone easily catch it.
And switching things up. Maxey in the backcourt. I've seen this play before.
I like the fact that they switched it up. I will say, I really do like the fact that they switched it up. You'll see a lot of teams give you one look, something like that happens, and then they'll try to run the same thing again after the other team has an idea of what you're running.
He tries to get it going downhill. Again, get something going to that basket. Oubre to inbound now. And it comes.
I love the patience right here, man. Like, I got to give him credit for...
Get something going to that basket. Oubre to inbound now.
Right, he doesn't...
And it comes to Embiid. Scoops it to Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey!
I mean, that's just unbelievable, bro. That's just unbelievable. To get from here all the way to the rim and score like that is unbelievable.
And it comes to Embiid. Scoops it to Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey! Count it!
And one. I mean, the guy's incredible. This guy's incredible, man. I can't say it enough how good this dude actually is. And the fact that he's having a career, a season like this already, he is in, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's in year 6. And he's already at damn near 30 points a game. He's had to deal with, injuries with Joel Embiid. He's had to deal with a lot when it comes to the Philadelphia 76ers. Paul George came in. Jared McCain had success earlier last season. and he just stayed the course. And I think for him, it's really commanding and demanding the respect and the spot that he's clearly earned, right? Which is the number one player on this team. Not just because of his numbers, but simply because of the way he's able to impact the game. And I think, you know, he's a really bright future in like Team USA moving forward. The guy is really, really good. Now, from one young buck to another, you know, we got two guys that are really sort of fighting for that face of the NBA spot. And I know Anthony Edwards said he don't want it. And I get that one of these players has not just a championship, but also an MVP. It makes it a little bit different, right? It's not a fair one-to-one comparison off the rip between Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Anthony Edwards. But I think that he takes his matchups personally, right? And 123-111 victory over the Oklahoma City Thunder. You know, Anthony Edwards has quietly been really leading this team, the Minnesota Timberwolves, to a solid season, right? They haven't had the best, they didn't have the best start. You know, he was questioning the team. I think he's someone that's learning his role as a leader, along with refining his game. I think there's a lot of turnover with this team. DiVincenzo's in his second season, getting comfortable. And I think it's a lot that, to be honest, Anthony Edwards has had to manage and balance on Minnesota, and he's had a great year in the middle of it. But I think even deeper than that, I think this is a real conversation, right? The Anthony Edwards, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's the better guard? It's going to be a real conversation. And in this game, Shai had 30, shot 66% from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, 5 of 5 from the line, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, 5 turnovers. Versus Anthony Edwards, 26 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, a block, 3 turnovers, 52.9% from the field and 40% from 3. Played great on defense. Was giving Lou Dort and all of them hell, honestly. But it really got me thinking, right? Because a lot of people have been questioning the Oklahoma City Thunder ever since that loss to the San Antonio Spurs, ever since they were 24-1. They've had I mean, it's a good stretch still, but compared to what everyone would want, right? It's not really the start that was ideal for these guys. I'm trying to find the date right now. Since the Spurs on the 13th, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 losses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So they're 14-10 or whatever. Or 14-9. Since that 24-1 start. And it really got me wondering, what is it, right? What is it? Because I've been trying to piece together the struggles that the Oklahoma City Thunder have had. And I think I have a little bit of an explanation, right? So during that 24-1 stretch, they had no Jalen Williams, right? They had no J-Dub, the second best player on this team, the second option on offense. Last season, he had averaged, I believe, 21.9. Let's see. I believe it was 21.9 points per game that he had averaged last season. Let me double check. 21.6 points per game that he averaged last season, right? So he wasn't playing. He was out for that stretch. And they were playing really, really good basketball. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander during that stretch was averaging like a good 31.4, 31.2 points per game, something like that during that stretch. So he was having, you know, a really good stretch of basketball. And when it comes to the second option, right? I went through it. I went through it all. So they played 48 games so far this season, right? They are 38-10 currently. I mapped out how many times they had a different player either lead or be the second most points in the team in that game, right? And what I found was they had 6 different players. 6 different players either were the second leading scorer or very few times the leading scorer in a game, right? 6 different players. Chet had 21 of those games. AJ Mitchell had 6. Isaiah Hartenstein had 3. Isaiah Joe had 3. Aaron Wiggins had 3. And Jalen Williams, J-Dub, had 12. Listen, I've said this before. The whoever is hot tonight style of basketball, waiting until the game to see who's got their shot going, who's on that night, that style of basketball only works for so long. And the reason why they went on that winning stretch, that 24-1 stretch, is because, one, they have a really great defense, a physical, great defense that plays together. And they have a steady rock in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander that's you could book for 30. Again, not having Jalen Williams and the team playing that well only works for so long, because now players are all over the place, right? Someone needs to make up the 21.6 that Jalen Williams was scoring last season. And that's not the end of the story, right? It was 21.6. He's running pick and rolls. He's a three-point threat, so he also spaces the floor. On defense, he was the low man that was doing a great job of picking and choosing when to stay, when to help, rotating. I mean, he does a lot for the team. And I've said before, I think this team could be better if they transition Chet Holmgren into that second offensive option, because he's more of a mismatch more nights than not. And he's clearly assumed that role with 21 games as either the second most points or the most points on the team. But AJ Mitchell is clearly a fourth option type of player. You can't count on Isaiah Hartenstein to be the one that's in that position to get your 20 points. And so I think the reason that they've struggled really is it comes down to Jalen Williams not being there. Right, you look at some of these games. I know they've had some really bad blowouts. I know they got blown out by Charlotte at one point. 20-point loss to the Spurs, 15-point loss in back-to-back game, 20 and then a 15-point loss. But, you know, a couple of these 2-point game losses, 3-point game losses, you know, it could have been avoided, right, off of just simple math and getting a little bit more production from Jalen Williams, or had they been comfortable. And I know he's been back for, how many games has he played at this point? He's played 24 out of the 48 games that they've played. So, you know, it does take a little bit of getting that person acclimated back into it. If he's behind anywhere at all on defense, and then you add on top of that the fact that the NBA has kind of figured out, shit, let's be physical. I think the same thing is happening with Detroit. I know people have been kind of picking at them because they're physical and they want to fight and scrap, but at the same time, be physical back, right? and we're seeing, you know, these teams have much tougher games. But yeah, man, I think this is simply just an example of, excuse me, I've said it before, this team is an elite defense because they have a lot of defensive players, right? Alex Caruso, Lou Dort, Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hartenstein, Jalen Williams is a good defensive player, Kaysen Wallace. Like, they have a lot of really good to great defensive players, individual defensive players. Offensively, they are not an all-time great offensive team. I've said it before. They have one all-time great offensive player who's in the middle of an unbelievable run. But as a team, they aren't that. Like, compare them to, for example, the Minnesota Timberwolves. I get that OKC's record is better, but Julius Randle booked for 22. Dante's been great. Naz Reid, Jaden McDaniels. That's a really good 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's a really good 4 that you could count on offensively. And, you know, compared to, you know, times where you have a Jalen Williams, a Lou Dort, and an Aaron Wiggins, like, these guys are good players, but talent for talent offensively, the names I just named are better. And so I think the sooner Jalen Williams can come back and be healthy, the better OKC will be. It'll allow everyone to fall back in line. Chet can be the third option. The fourth option could be whoever, right? AJ Mitchell, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, Kaysen Wallace, Alex Caruso, Isaiah Hartenstein. That's when it starts being, oh shit, those any of those players could be your fourth option. That's when you start saying, oh shit, oh okay. That's when you start saying, but when you have to depend on these guys to be your second, third option, that's when it gets a little bit sketchy. But yeah, man, this guy Anthony Edwards has been lights out. Trying to see if there's forget if there's anything that I wanted to talk about when it comes to any of these plays right here. I don't think I'm seeing really much. I mean, they had such a big lead. It's hard to critique some of these late game shots. I think, you know, Anthony Edwards is he's just kind of fucking around. By the end of this game, some of these shots just were not the shots you would want for him to take. I mean, if he's doing this shit,
points, 6 assists. Edwards,
crossover, Euro. I mean, Jesus.
Major highlight.
I mean, like, Jesus. Like, what the fuck do you even do with that? like legit, what do you even do with that? He hits a 3 the next play. You know, I would typically say, you know, don't really use your handle to get by a defender like Lu Dort. You know, you got to use your physicality and your jab and really be methodical. But he kind of just walks him down right here.
Edwards
Gets him to a spot.
on one with Dort.
Honestly, that's a push off. I mean, that's full arm extension. But takes his time.
Edwards rises and hits.
I mean, you know, that's really the only way to counter a defender like Lu Dort. He's going to be physical. He's going to try to get in you. You got to use that jab step. You got to force him to open up and try to, you know, try to attack him in those scenarios. I will say I've noticed that there are a couple of times where I'll watch Anthony Edwards, and if it looks like he gets very little lift off of his jumper, I guess I'll show this miss right here. I don't know what it is. It looks weird though when it does happen.
Rebound Gobert. Trying to strip it away from Edwards is Wallace. Edwards full up. No good. Tip it goes Gobert.
I don't know, but this is again showing growth in his game.
Edwards defended by Williams.
I mean, a lefty off the bank is crazy right there.
By Williams. Banker goes.
So, you know, great game out of Minnesota, blowing out the reigning champs. Yeah, man, I think this is definitely a rivalry that we're gonna see moving forward. I think Shea and Ant, you know, they're going to be defending each other. They're going to be, in my opinion, going at MVPs. And so compared to the Chet Wemby rivalry that they've been trying to push, I think this is probably, in my opinion, a better brewing rivalry. I mean, Ant's been to the conference finals twice. And so in terms of accomplishment and experience when they do run into the playoffs, I think it'll be a better matchup compared to OKC versus the Spurs personally. I don't think that's a great matchup in my opinion. I think the Spurs will be lucky to get a game, to get 2 games, honestly, in that situation. But I think, you know, the more I think about this, there is definitely upset potential when it comes to the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Oklahoma City Thunder. When you think of matchups, Dante can guard Shea, Jaden McDaniels could guard Shea, they can switch, Anthony Edwards could guard Shea. Like, you have a number of players that you could throw at Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams. And Anthony Edwards, if he can continue to get downhill, post up. Julius Randle, I think, can outstrength Chet Holmgren, so they're going to have to try to keep Isaiah Hartenstein on him. But the way I'm picturing it, Minnesota, if Hartenstein's on Randle, you're going to try to push him out, pull him out to the three-point line. And so it'll definitely be a chess match between these two teams. I think it'll be a really fun matchup to see in the playoffs. So we'll see what happens moving forward. Now, I mean, y'all know Dillon Brooks is the man. He took down, you know, the other 1 seed in the NBA, the Eastern Conference 1 seed, the Detroit Pistons, lose 114-96 to the Phoenix Suns. No Devin Booker. Obviously, no Jalen Green still. And Dillon Brooks decides to get a 40 ball. I mean, again, I think that's just something that's so... I'm not going to say unexpected because he's been playing really well this year. He had 40. Grayson Allen had 24. Colin Gillespie had 16. Like, if this were any other game, because Cade had 26, Duren had 23, Tobias had 13, like, they could have gotten more production out of the rest of the team, but that's what just makes this look so crazy is the 40 ball out of Dillon Brooks, right? 96 to 104 don't look as crazy, right? If we're being honest. But I think this really shows, and we've talked about it before, right? The mentality, confidence can do a lot, right? When you are a confident player, and that comes from the work that you've put in, but also just, you know, pure confidence, you could do some out of body shit. And I think Dillon Brooks, who's, you got to think about him right now, right? Memphis, he was an engine on that team. He was a defensive engine on that team, and his game was developing. He gets kind of scapegoated, and he's out of there. Granted, he has his part in it too. You can't talk shit and not show up at the press conference, right? That happens, goes to Houston. In Houston, he is also an engine to that team defensively, but aside from that, his offensive game had also developed. It was also developing, right? 12.7 year one, 14 the year after that. A 39% shooter from three last season, 35.9 the year before that, constantly improving. And to be a catalyst for a team, right? You are a catalyst for this team when it comes to success, right? You are a huge part as to why this team turned the corner, talking about the Houston Rockets. And to get traded again, granted, Kevin Durant, but to get traded again when you've been such a big part, it has to really impact someone like Dillon Brooks, even though he don't show it. But clearly he's used it as fuel, and his game has just been... I mean, this guy has just been great. Like, shit. I mean, what are you going to do about this?
Tyrese Brooks. 9 first quarter points.
Tween, Hezzy, tween, Hezzy, pull up.
You know, on Stewart, yeah. And that's
I mean, that's just tough. That is so tough. That is so tough. I mean, there's so much talent in the NBA right now. Holy. He loves that little float. He loves that. He loves that little float. He loves that little float game, and he's physical. He's physical on offense and on defense. It makes it tough. Like, and he's making some tough ass shots. I mean, like, look at this right here. Cade is guarding him.
Brooks. Dribbling past the double team.
I mean, nothing like, ain't nothing you could do with him. Shit, ain't nothing you could do with him. He's just on a heater. So Tobias Harris is guarding him. It don't even matter. I mean, we got to show this. Holy fuck.
Here's a trap here. You got to be ready to get to open spots.
Tween.
Shot clock. Sidestep three. Cover for Brooks.
I mean, Jesus, like, you just shake that man's hand and keep it pushing, man. But I think he's someone who's, again, he puts a battery in your best player's back, plays tough on defense, and now he's giving you 20 plus a game. I mean, I mean, yeah, you know, he's not just a catch and shoot guy. He's creating shots for himself. The next step is obviously to, you know, be able to create shots for others. But a true second option, in the NBA. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. But thank you guys so much, man. Before I get out of here, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, all that good stuff. It really helps the channel out. I really appreciate y'all so much. Thank you as always. But yeah, Elijah, I appreciate you for popping up in here. I hope you feel better, bro. I hope you feel better. But thank you guys, man. Y'all could have been anywhere on the internet, but y'all were here with me, and I appreciate you for that. So thank you so much. I'll see y'all later. You have a great rest of y'all night. Have a great weekend. I'll see y'all back here on Monday. Peace.